Pricing and rates is a hot topic in the trade industry, and it's thrown around and almost used as a weapon against tradespeople, both from customers and other trades. If you're pricey or expensive, that's, you're ripping people off. If you're too cheap, you're probably not very good at your job. So, I mean, it's so difficult to get it right, and for new people starting, I think that's really, it's difficult because people constantly question whether they're charging enough, whether they're charging too much, and I think it gets quite difficult. But I think the important thing to remember is no two prices are ever going to be the same, and they probably shouldn't be. What two companies are going to be identically quoting for a job? Customer's going to get 3 quotes, or probably should do anyway, I always recommend they do, get 3 quotes, if not more, from people. What are the chances that those 3 companies are going to be exactly the same in every single aspect of their business? There's going to be a sole trader, there's going to be medium-sized companies, big companies, and that's basically what these prices are factor on. Company size, the company's overheads, the region that they come from, the type of service that they provide, and probably even the materials they use is going to make a massive difference in the difference of cost that these customers get with their prices. It's always going to be like that, and they shouldn't be the same. Sole traders' prices are not going to be the same as a company that has 5 people or a company that has 20 people. They're going to be very different, and that's just how it is. So it's not necessarily they're a rip-off, or not necessarily that they're ridiculously cheap and don't provide a good service. It's probably just that they are completely different scales, and they should have different prices. That's just how it is. So in terms of when you're starting out, the important things to remember are, as long as you're not ripping people off, because that's just not a good thing to do and not the honest thing to do. You shouldn't rip people off anyway. But as long as you're covering yourself and you're making enough money to cover what you need, cover your overheads and make a bit of profit out of it, then that's probably fine. Don't worry that perhaps you haven't got a job because you've been beaten to it by someone else. You're not going to win every job, and the chances are, customer might pick the cheaper option, and they might pick based on recommendation or what they know, but it's not necessarily that you're charging too much. Sometimes it's just, you don't win every job. But those prices are always going to vary massively, and I think customers also need to understand this as well, because that's the reason. It's not necessarily people are ripping people off. It's just that these companies have completely different scales, and when you pick someone off the internet, how do you know what size they are? They could be 1 person, they could be 50 people. Their costs are always going to be different, and I think it's important to remember that.